crystal clear audio.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning, it's 56 degrees at 7:40 on this Wednesday, October 11th. I'm Scott Stanford. Here's what's happening. Israel has its forces in place should they decide to ignite a ground attack on Gaza. Hundreds of New Yorkers gather outside the UN for a vigilant rally in support of Israel. Two NYPD officers slashed while taking down a guy waving a knife around at a subway platform in the Bronx. Legendary Olympic gold medalist Mary Lou Retton fighting for her life after coming down with a rare form of pneumonia. Are you sure you're scrubbing thoroughly enough in the shower?
I'm a dermatologist, and you absolutely need to be washing these places more often than you are.
A TikTok doc runs down the list of spots you may be missing. Checking sports, Liberty look to even up their WNBA finals with the Aces tonight. MLB Rangers sweep the Orioles to move on to the ALCS. AccuWeather, we've got a beauty. Sunny, pleasant, 70 degrees. Winds news time, 7:41. Traffic and transit on the ones. Speaking of sunny and pleasant, Karen Stewart.
Well, thank you, Scott. So we go over to the Bronx first. Southbound Deegan at Van Cortlandt Park South. We've got a disabled vehicle, and the left lane is blocked. I'm looking at the Deegan actually right now at Van Cortlandt Park. There are some slowdowns into the area. Nothing major to report to you there. We've got westbound Cross Bronx and southbound Bruckner delays that are very heavy from the Bruckner interchange now out into the Sheridan Expressway. If you're heading out to Queens, the eastbound belt at Farmers Boulevard has an accident, and it's blocking one lane. The westbound side of the Belt Parkway is very slow. Actually, westbound and eastbound is very slow from Springfield Boulevard out into the Van Wyck, and the Van Wyck North is jammed from the Belt up into Atlantic Avenue. And the BQE on the eastbound side of the Kosciuszko has right lane construction there. In the northbound cross island at Belmont Park at exit 26, we've got an accident and one lane is blocked. 45 minutes in at the George and Holland and an hour inbound at the Lincoln Tunnel right now. In New Jersey, we got rid of one of our turnpike problems. The one at 12, the accident there, cleared. Eastbound Turnpike Hudson County Extension, though, west of 14A for the Bayonne Bridge, we've got an accident there that's over on the shoulder. NJ Transit's good, path is good, and alternate side parking rules and regulations are in effect. Our next report is 7:51. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Well, Israel's military says it has 35 battalions positioned in the areas surrounding Gaza from where Hamas launched its attack on Saturday.
Israeli airstrikes are pounding the Gaza Strip, perhaps softening the territory for a ground invasion. Israel says it's destroying weapons storage and infrastructure used by Hamas, which is designated a terrorist group by the U.S. Palestinian officials put the death toll at 900, and the United Nations says there have been more than a dozen hits on health facilities.
It's correspondent Holly Williams in Tel Aviv. Hamas says there won't be any hostage negotiations while they're still under fire. The White House has confirmed that some of those hostages are indeed Americans, and the president spoke to the nation yesterday, also confirming 14 Americans have been killed in the attacks.
President Biden leaving no doubt whose side the U.S. supports.
We stand with Israel.
The president in a national address saying that will require more funding from Congress.
This is not about party or politics. It's about the security of our world.
But first, the Republican-controlled House must elect a new speaker to provide any new aid. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
Local officials from our area are calling on the Biden administration to get Americans back home, Americans who are currently stuck in Israel.
Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis among nearly 150 members of the House, a bipartisan group calling on the Biden administration to get Americans out of Israel. Military planes, chartered flights, any way possible.
We've been through this already with Ukraine, Afghanistan. There should already be a plan in place, and we should be moving and executing that plan to be evacuating these citizens and sending in search teams to get those who may be hostages at the moment.
A group from Israel now living here in New York reached out to us and connected us with their friend Eyal Nouri. His uncle was killed by Hamas over the weekend. His 72-year-old aunt taken hostage by Hamas.
People should put themselves in the position of my aunt, Adina Moshe. She saw her husband for the last 52 years got shot with dozens of bullets in front of her eyes.
Nouri tells us his aunt has a heart condition and will need her medication and must be released. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Well, outside of Israel, New York City has the largest population of Jewish residents. Hundreds showed up outside the UN yesterday for a rally and vigil.
The response to the attacks on Israel crosses cultural and religious barriers, says 22-year-old Mendel Zaklikovsky.
This is standing up for humanity. It's good against evil, light against darkness.
While people did have smiles on their faces here and raised Israeli flags, there can be many different emotions at once.
It has been a moment of intense grief alongside immense resolve. Resolve on behalf of our brothers and sisters in Israel, and a commitment to ensuring that we continue to be a strong and united community in our darkest hour.
That's Hindi Pupko with the UJA Federation, which organized this rally and vigil. She says the images of the attack will be seared into memories for a lifetime. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in Midtown.
Vigils being held in Hoboken last night. A 19-year-old from Bergen County is among those missing. Eden Alexander graduated from Tenafly High School last year. He's a member of the Israel Defense Forces, and he was serving near the Gaza Strip at the time of the Hamas attack. Governor Murphy attended the vigil. He said they're still trying to determine if any of the Americans that were killed are from the Garden State. WINS News Time 7:46. Two NYPD officers were slashed early this morning while trying to grab a guy with a knife at a Bronx subway station. Both officers are fortunately doing okay. It happened around 2:30 this morning. Police say a 40-year-old man was waving a knife on the northbound platform of the 5 train station at Pelham Parkway. The male and female officer managed to take this guy down, but not before being cut themselves. The suspect is getting a psych evaluation. House Republicans can't afford to drag out the Speaker of the House situation much longer. They've been holding some closed-door meetings looking to come to an agreement on who the next Speaker should be before opening up the floor for a vote.
House Republicans hoping to unify behind one candidate for Speaker of the House in order to avoid a repeat of January, when it took 15 votes on the House floor to elect Kevin McCarthy. Majority Leader Steve Scalise of Louisiana and Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan are the leading contenders, making their pitch to Republican colleagues. But neither have the support of the majority, raising concerns that this could be a protracted battle. The House can't vote on any legislation until a Speaker is elected.
That's correspondent Michael George. Ousted House Speaker Kevin McCarthy initially positioned himself to try and reclaim the job. He told his colleagues, don't nominate me this time around. WINS News Time 7:47. We're at 56, heading up to 69. Beautiful sunny skies today. Donald Trump's former chief finance guy on the stand yesterday at the former president's fraud trial. Evidence showing Mr. Trump signed a document in 1994 showing the size of his Trump Tower penthouse at 11,000 square feet, but was later listed as 30,000 square feet on financial statements.
Trump's former CFO Alan Weisselberg repeatedly said he could not remember whether he discussed the financial statements with Trump while they were being finalized. Weisselberg said he reviewed the drafts from a 30,000-foot level, but paid special attention to something he called very important to Trump: the descriptions of his properties. It was a little bit of a marketing piece, Weisselberg said, for banks to read about our properties, how well they're taken care of, that they're first-class properties.
That's Julie Walker reporting. At 16, she was America's sweetheart after winning Olympic gold in 1984. Today, she's fighting for her life.
Mary Lou Retton is in the intensive care unit of a Texas hospital where she's being treated for a rare form of pneumonia. Her daughter, McKenna Kelly, says the 55-year-old legendary Olympian is fighting for her life and that she cannot breathe on her own. At the 1984 Games, the then 16-year-old Retton became the first American woman gymnast to win the Olympic all-around title. Kelly started a fundraising campaign to pay for her mother's medical expenses, saying Retton does not have health insurance. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Well, the numbers don't lie, and they show that 26 New Yorkers have been killed while riding bikes this year. More than 200 killed since 2014. There's going to be a rally tonight at the Rotunda outside City Hall, where safety advocates are looking for Mayor Adams to take action in order to stop the record high numbers of bike fatalities. Danny Harris is the executive director of Transportation Alternatives.
We simply need to take bikeways that already work and bring them to every street in New York City. And the mayor has already advanced a legally mandated streets plan that forces the city to do that. So we need the mayor and we need the politics to get out of the way so that the DOT can do their job and deliver safety.
Tonight's rally kicks off at 7:30. There's going to be a mass bike ride beforehand at 6:30, heading to City Hall. from Union Square. Hey, are you doing enough in the shower? Well, there may be 3 spots you might not be cleaning well enough. I'll tell you which ones they are, and we'll hit the roads next.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Wins News Time 7:51. Traffic and transit on the ones. We do it every 10 minutes like clockwork, Karen Stewart.
We certainly do. Absolutely like clockwork. And eastbound on the New Jersey Turnpike Hudson County Extension, like clockwork, there's a problem. West of 14A, we've got an accident out there on the Hudson County Extension, blocking the shoulder. If you're traveling the Garden State Parkway, the southbound local lanes still have no access to the exit for 105 for Chicken Falls and Asbury Park with long-term construction. And westbound 280 at exit 14 for Clifton Avenue in Newark, we got long-term construction blocking the entrance ramp there. The southbound New York State Thruway. In Rockland, at the Palisades, we have an accident out there. Mass Transit northbound 4 and 5 trains now are running with delays. EMS is responding to someone in need of medical assistance on a train at Atlantic Avenue Barclay Center. The northbound C's, the northbound R's, and the Q trains are also running with delays. Over the Hudson River, as we check what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels, it's an hour at the Lincoln, and it's 45 at the George and Holland. The Westchester southbound side of the Mario Cuomo mid-span, we have an accident. We have at least one lane blocked. There are a lot of sun glare, too, at the Mario Cuomo. An alternate side of the street is in effect today citywide. Our next report is 8:01. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this October 11th, 2023. It's a Wednesday. I do know that this is not the most exciting or entertaining type of video that you normally find on YouTube. However, I do feel it's important to record and document history. A lot of your world news or national news obviously will always be documented, but a lot of your local news in your neighborhoods here in the New York Metropolitan area won't. So that's where we are. We'll see you on the next video.